I'd like to welcome everyone to today's webinar on the IDEAL Dealer Management System. My name is Ryan Tabakhorst, and I'm a Territory Sales Executive here at IDEAL. I'll be presenting the webinar for you today. And I just want to thank everyone for taking time out of their busy day to be on the webinar today with us. And there will be a short survey at the end of this webinar. Please provide us with your feedback on how we did. I have about 11 slides here that I'm going to go through rather quickly here so that we can spend more time inside the actual software. Also, please use the chat feature to submit your questions during the demo, and we'll get your questions answered, as many as we can, at the end of the demo. IDEAL Computer Systems office is located in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. IDEAL Computer Systems was started back in 1985 by Dennis Hafner. So we'll be celebrating our 35th year in business this year. In 2010, IDEAL Computer Systems was acquired by Constellation Dealership Software. Constellation Dealership Software owns over 600 software companies and has over 15,000 employees. We have the backing of a large organization, and we run it like a small business. Constellation has a lot of resources that allows us to reinvest more back into a product based on our customers' feedback than anyone else in the industries we serve. There are a lot of ways IDEAL can help you. We'll help you keep better track of your inventory and streamline your workflow processes to make you more efficient so that you can spend more time selling and less time managing. We have over 1,200 customers across North America. Here are some of our customers' logos in the outdoor power equipment industry. You may recognize some of them. There's a good chance that you may already know a dealer that's in your area that is currently using IDEAL. Here's some of our power sports customers' logos. We do have some of our power sports dealers that are using IDEAL for the golf carts and trailer sales and service side of the business as well. Here are some of our marine customers' logos. And here are some of our golf carts and trailer customers' logos. We have integrations with most of the manufacturers and suppliers in the industries we serve. With some of the manufacturers and suppliers, we're going to have product registration interfaces, which allows you to register products electronically through the system. And with some of the manufacturers and suppliers, we're going to have purchase order interfaces so that you can send your purchase orders electronically through the system to your manufacturer or supplier. We're also going to send out price file updates from your manufacturers and your suppliers so that you can have those updated and loaded into the system. Here are some of our power sports manufacturers and logos here. And here are some of our marine logos. And with IDEAL, it is a complete solution top to bottom. We can install IDEAL onto your computers locally, or you can choose to have us host the software for you. We also have a mobile app that gives you the ability to do inventory counts, work orders, and the ability to look up the list MSRP price on your serialized items. Later this year, you're going to be able to do sales orders on the mobile app as well. We have the best support team in the industry. Our support team is local here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and our customers rank our customer support team a 97% in courtesy and professionalism and 93% in product knowledge. With IDEAL, we're going to be able to keep track of all of your inventory in the system. As I mentioned before, we load in your manufacturer supplier price files into a system. So all of your parts will be in there with the part number the description, the list price, and your cost. We're also going to include the service side of the business as well. So we have a work order shop management module for you to keep track of your repair orders inside the system. You're going to be able to do all of your sales invoicing through the system, manage your customers and the type of terms that you offer to your customers through the system. With Ideal, the base system is going to come with the accounts receivables module, and you have the option of running your accounts payables and your general ledger through Ideal as well. So you can run everything from an accounting standpoint through the Ideal system. If you're currently using QuickBooks and you prefer to use QuickBooks, that's okay. We do have a QuickBooks interface where we can map the transactions out of Ideal to go into the proper accounts inside your QuickBooks software. In addition to that, Ideal has over 1,000 different types of reports that you can run inside the system. There's different flavors, different filters to those reports, and you can export all the reports out of Ideal into an Excel file format. In addition to that, we have our mobile app that we talked about earlier, and we also have a rentals module if you do a rental business as well. This brings me to the point in the demo where I'm going to go ahead and bring up the Ideal software here. So this page that you see here, this blue screen that says Welcome to Ideal, this is what we refer to as the welcome page. Up here in the right-hand corner, this link for Ideal remote support. This is called Bomgar Remote Communication Software. This is what our support technicians use to remote into your computers to network your computers together, load Ideal on all of your computers. So we do all of the setup and the configuration for you. It's also a tool that our support staff uses if you ever have a question and you need help with something inside Ideal. They can use this to remote into your computer, see exactly what you're seeing on your screen. You can grant them control of it so they can step you through the steps to answer your questions. Over here to the left, this Customer Center, this is our customer portal page. So I go over here to the top to the training and click on training, scroll down the page. We have these monthly training webinars that are free every month that we provide to our customers. And if you're unable to attend one of the training webinars, they are all recorded. So as you can see here, you can go down and click on the link to watch a webinar recording. Just another way that we support our customers. Over here on the left-hand side, this Resource Center, this is where your product help guide is inside the software. And directly below that are our training videos inside the software. When you purchase the Ideal system, you're going to get a minimum of 2 days of remote training through the system. So you're actually going to have a live trainer that you're going to be working with one-on-one with the system. But in addition to that, we offer these training video resources here inside the software. Going back here to Ideal, if you ever do need to get a hold of our support team, you don't even have to pick up the phone and call them. You can click on this request and someone will give you a call back. And our hours of operation are Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Over to the right here are popular topics. These are continually being updated by our support staff. So anytime they're getting a lot of the same questions asked over and over again, they'll post the question and the answer out here under the popular topics. And down at the bottom, we do an archives of the popular topics. So when you go in here at the top, if you have a question related to work orders, you can just simply click on the work orders link, and it's going to show you the questions and answers related to work orders. Going back here to the welcome page, I'm going to direct your attention to the very top here on the toolbar. 90% of what you're going to be doing on a regular basis in Ideal, you're going to access using these shortcut icons at the top of the screen. So it makes it very easy for you to find the information that you're looking for. These icons at the top of the toolbar can be customized as well. You just simply right click and go to customize toolbar buttons. Now, with this universal search field button at the top here. It gives you the ability to search for your customer. You can search by their name, by their phone number. You can also search for part numbers and take a customer, let's say, right from here that you look up directly to a sales or work order. So just a quick way for you to be able to get to the information that you want and make you more efficient. I'm going to go over here at the top left-hand corner and start with the customer screen. And when I go into the customer screen, it brings me right to the search field so I can start searching for my customer. To the right of the search field, there's a search and sort by. So you can search by your customer's name, you can search by their customer ID, their phone number, any of the fields that you see here in the drop-down menu. And I'm going to search by a customer's name here. And by the way, you can search by first or last name. And you notice as I start to type in the letters of the customer's name, the system already searches for me. And there's my customer. I don't have to type in the customer's full name. Now, to drill down into the customer's information, I can either hit my F7 key or I can go down here to the bottom left-hand corner, click on the Properties button. This is going to show me the customer's billing address, their email address, their phone number, their cell phone number. Off to the right here, the email field and the cell phone field, you'll see these little icons here. What that's for is you have the ability to send emails through the system to your customers. So you can send out your customer statements, you can send out invoices to your customers, whatever type of message you'd like to send out to your customers. Below that here, next to the cell phone field, you can send text messages out to your customers through the system as well. And we do have some automation around our text messaging feature. We do have the ability, let's say anytime you've special ordered parts for your customers, when you receive those parts in on a purchase order, you can have the system set up where it will automatically send out a text message to your customer, letting them know their parts are in and they can come pick them up. Also around work orders, when you change the status of a work order to completed, we can have it set up so that the system will send out a text message to the customer, letting them know the work's been completed on their equipment and they can come pick it up now. Over to the right here, you'll see the terms that we've set up in the system for your customers. You'll have different pricing levels that you can set up for your customers. You can assign a sales rep to them, their tax code. Down here at the bottom, you'll see there's check boxes for printing out statements, allowing text, and emailing out statements to your customers. The next tab here is our additional tab. So with Ideal, what you can do here is you can put in a warning message under the customer's account. So let's say the customer has written you a bad check in the past and you don't want your employees taking checks from that customer. You can put a warning message in here, and anytime an employee brings up that customer inside the system, it's going to pop up with this warning message. Next, we have our Notes tab. So you can put in any kind of notes you want under the customer's account, and you can timestamp those notes. We also have a Contacts tab here. So if you're working with a commercial cutter or you're working with an organization, you can add those names under the account here under the Contacts tab. Next, we have our Ship To address for our customer. And the last tab here is a Pricing tab. So this allows you to set up a pricing rule for your customer inside the system. And you can do it by different types. You can do it by percent of margin, amount, or fixed. There are also different base levels. So you can base it off of the manufacturer's list price, average cost, and so on. You can even set up a date range. So if a customer comes in and buys a piece of equipment from you, and the first 90 days, you're going to give them 10% off any parts or accessories that they purchase from you. You can set that up inside the system as well. Next, I'm going to go into the customer's activity screen here. I just click on the activity button down at the bottom. It's going to open up to the receivables tab. From here, I can enter in a payment right from here on the customer's account. We also typically have a payment button at the top on the toolbar that you can see here where my mouse pointer is. And under the receivables tab, it's going to show you any open receivables that are sitting out there on the customer's account. We do have a filter button. If you had a lot of them out here, you could filter by any of these fields that you see in the window. And there's also a sort by drop-down arrow as well, so you can sort by any of the fields that you see here. At the bottom of this receivables tab, you're going to have the balance sitting out here and the number of days that it's been sitting out here on the account. Next, we have our orders tab. This is going to show you any open orders that are sitting out there under the customer's account. This would be quotes, work orders, sales orders, internal work orders. And again, you do have a filter button here to filter by fields. Any of the fields that you see here, there's also a sort by drop-down button that you can click on as well. Next, we have our items on order. This just shows you all the products that are sitting out there on those orders. And you can see that they've been allocated to the quote or to the work order or the sales order that's open. And you can also see if it's on back order or not from here as well. Next, we have our invoices tab. So this shows me all of the customer's invoices. If I want to look at an invoice, I can just simply double click on that invoice to open it up. And down at the bottom here, it's going to have an items tab so I can see what the product is. There's also a payments tab, and there's a sales tax tab on here as well. Now, if a customer, let's say, comes in, picks out a part, and you invoice them out, and they get out to the parking lot and decide that they don't want the part, they need something different, you do have the ability to hit this reverse button up here to take it to an open order status. So you can return the part that they don't want back into the system easily and add the part that they do need. This reverse button is only something that you would use if they were returning it the same day. Items invoice just shows you all of the products that the customer has purchased from you in the past. And again, you have a filter button, so you can filter by any of the fields that you see here to help you find whatever product it is that you're looking for easier. And then you do have a sort by drop-down menu as well. The whole goods tab is going to show you anything that you've worked on in the past for the customer or anything that you've sold to the customer in the past. So when you go to do a work order on a customer's piece of equipment, which I'll show you a little bit later on during this demonstration, you're going to be able to look up the customer's equipment from the work order screen, and you're going to be able to see what you did to it the last time that the customer brought it in to you. The last tab that we have here is the text and emails tab. So if you do send a text message or an email through the system to your customers, you can view that message right from here. And you can also see whether or not that text message or email was successfully sent out through the system. Next, I'm going to go into the product screen, which is just to the right of the customers. When we go into the products, it's going to be the same layout as a customer screen. And you're going to see as we go through this that it's the same grid style layout throughout the program. So once you know how to do a couple things in Ideal, you're good to go. It's very easy to learn how to use this system. Now, to the right of the search box, we have a search and sort by. And if we want to search by the part number, we can do that. We can search by description, by product type, by manufacturer. You can also set up custom views inside the system. So for instance, you'll see here in the drop-down menu, I have a lot of custom views that I've set up inside the system. So for example, if I just wanted to see all the Stihl chainsaws that I had on hand, I can just click on it and boom, it takes me right to that screen. And there is a filter button right from here that you can go to, so you can set up whatever filters you want and save those as views inside the system. I'm going to go ahead and type in a part number here. All right, and when I want to drill down into that part number, I can go into the properties. And this is going to show me what my list price is here, what my cost is, my average cost, and what my last cost was. The next tab, the additional tab, what our dealers use this for is, let's say, for example, you're selling a battery to a customer. you could add a core charge right here as an additional product. So anytime you go to add that battery to a sales ticket or work order, it's going to automatically add that core charge on there with the battery. And if the customer doesn't want that, you can always delete it off of the order. Next, we have our notes tab, so you can put in any kind of notes you want. You can timestamp it from here. Next, we have our stock tab. So this is going to show you the bin location for that product. You can also set up to 4 different stocking levels inside Ideal that you see here. So you could have like a summer minimum, summer max, winter minimum, winter max, and it's also going to show you how many you have available on hand here. Next, we have our kit items tab. So in Ideal, you'll have the ability to build out kits. You could have a tune-up kit that includes a spark plug, the oil filter, the oil, the air filter, and so on. So you can build out any type of kits that you need inside the system. The related tab, what our dealers use this for is cross-referencing of aftermarket parts they sell. So for example here, for the OP guys, I have Oregon and Sten's aftermarket parts that I could use to replace the Briggs & Stratton air filter and pre-filter that I have on here. And I'll show you when we go through and do a sales order what that looks like, how it pops up with that related items window, and it gives us the ability to replace the OEM part with the aftermarket part. Next, we have our pricing tab here, so we can go in and set up a pricing rule here for a specific customer on this product. And then the last tab we have here is an image tab, so if you want to drop a picture in here of the product, you can do so. Next, I'm going to go into the activity screen here. This is going to open up to the inventory tab, so I can do an inventory adjustment right from here. I can see how many I have total, how many are allocated here, and how many are available. And I can see what the value of that inventory is and what my average cost is here. I go down here to the quantity history tab. I can see what my past sales history has been on this product throughout the year and last year from here. And I can see what my purchase history has been on this product this year as well as last year. Moving on here to the related tab, we already talked about this. On a sales order, if I have any of these parts sitting out there on orders, work orders, or sales orders, I'll see those right from here. On a purchase order, if I had any of these sitting out on a purchase order, I could view those from here. Next, I have my invoice tab, so I can see all the customers that have purchased this product in the past. We have our receive tab, so I can see the supplier that I purchased this product from in the past, what the quantity was and what my cost was, and I can see the total amount. We can also track lost sales through the system as well. So if a customer walks in the store asking for a product that you don't normally stock and they walk out of the store, you'll be able to track that as a lost sale through the system. Pricing info. This is just another way to set up a pricing rule inside the system for this product for your customers. Next, I'm going to go into the whole goods screen here. So when we click on the shortcut icon for the whole goods, this is just going to show your serialized items only. The product screen shows you all of your parts as well as your serialized. So this looks just like the product screen, only this is only showing your serialized items only. Again, you can search by a serial number, you can search by a product number or stock number, whatever's going to be easiest for you. You can just search by what you have in stock if you want to. You can do it by manufacturer, and there's also a filter button here as well that you can go into. There's also the save view here as well. So if I just wanted to see used units that I have in stock, I could just go right here to see that. And I'm just going to click on one of these serialized items to go into the properties of that serialized item. So when I go into the properties of the serialized item, I see the unit information, the description, model number, manufacturer, serial number. There's a spot for additional model numbers, manufacturers, and serial numbers. And if you're a marine dealer or a trailer dealer, we customize the unit types for you. So the unit type field that you see here would be a little bit different. This is a unit type for an outdoor power equipment dealer. So as you can see here down at the bottom, you have your warranty information that can be entered in. Over here on the right, there's body type, engine type, deck size, horsepower. You can also add up to 3 custom fields inside Ideal as well. And you can designate whether the equipment's new, used, or rented. On the additional tab, this gives you the ability to add freight, prep, track dealer rebates, holdbacks, and you'll be able to see what your estimated profit is for that piece of equipment. Next, you have a notes tab here to enter notes. Any kind of manufacturer options that were installed can be added from here. The dealer options tab, if you click on add dealer options, it's going to ask you if you want to create an internal work order. So from here, you can go right into an internal work order, and if you're adding, let's say, an accessory to a piece of equipment, you'll be able to track that labor that was performed on that piece of equipment, and that will get added to the cost of the unit for the customer when you go to sell it to them. On the attachment screen, this would just be used if you want to attach serialized items together. So if you're selling a piece of equipment and you want to attach, let's say, a trailer to go along with it, you could attach that trailer right here on the screen. Work history, if there's any work that was done on this piece of equipment, you'd see all the work orders that were tied to it. Lastly, on the image tab, this just gives you the ability to drop a picture in here. Next, I'm going to go through and show you how easy it is to do a sales order inside Ideal. So we just go up here to the top, click on the order entry. Mine's set up automatically to default to a cash customer. So I can change that from a cash customer just by typing in the customer's name. You have the same search and sort by fields in here. So Dave Baumgart's the customer I'm looking for. Now there's also a properties and activity button down here at the bottom. So if I need to update the customer's address or phone number, I can do that right on the fly from here. Also, if I need to check on an order for the customer, I can go to activity and click on the order screen and let him know what's going on with his open orders. From here, I'm going to click the OK button. Now I can scan a barcode. If you have a barcode scanner, I can scan it right to the sales order. I can click the add button from here. And I'm just going to type in a part number here. Add that. And there's my related items window. So again, I have the cross-referencing set up inside the system with the OEM parts and the aftermarket parts. So if I wanted to replace it with one of these aftermarket parts, I could simply click on it and click the replace button. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and finish out this order. So down here in the right-hand corner, I'm just going to click the finish button. I'm going to go ahead and invoice the customer out from here. And then I just choose the payment type. I just double click in there. It puts the amount in there, and I click on done. And there's my invoice. You can put any kind of a message that you'd like on your invoice that you see down below here. And then your logo, we can put that onto the invoice and your company information at the top. And then you can also capture the customer signature on the invoice and store that copy inside your system with your customer signature on it. So when you're finished with that, it takes you right back to the sales order entry screen, so you're ready to do a new sales order. Next, I'm going to go into creating a new work order. So at the top, I just click on the work order entry button. And from here, again, I just go in and I add my customer. There's Dave Baumgart. And again, down at the bottom, I have the properties and activity button. So if I want to change the customer's address or phone number on the fly, I can do that right from here. So I have my counter person at the top. I have my sales rep. I'm going to go ahead and add my technician in here. The fail date and end date is going to populate automatically for me. You can prioritize the work from right here. And then you see here I have this lookup unit button, so I can look up the customer's piece of equipment. And again, everything I'm doing right now on the work order entry screen, you could be doing using the mobile app inside the system. So here I can go ahead and click properties if I want to look and see what's been done to this equipment before. So I just go to the work history tab and I can simply double click on it from here to open it up. And then I can see down below here the parts that were added to it, the labor that was performed on it, any kind of extras, what the symptoms were when the customer brought it into me, any kind of request the customer made. So from here, when I click the OK button, it's going to drop the model number, the manufacturer, the serial number, and the description right onto the work order for me. Then over here on the left-hand side under the work order tab, I just go down to job 1 and I enter in my job description. Once I have that entered in, I can go right below it and put in any parts that I know I need for the job can be entered in, any kind of labor that needs to be performed to it. And I'm just going to show you an example of a service package here. You can see what that looks like. So with the service package, you can build it out on all of the labor that's going to be performed, and then you can flat rate bill it out like I have inside the system here. And it just drops everything right onto the work order for you. Below our labor is going to be our extras. As you can see here, the system automatically dropped the shop supplies and the disposal fees right onto the work order for me. And you can have us set it up where it just flat rate bills it out like we see here, or you can have it billed out as a percentage of the work order. Next, I would enter in whatever the symptoms are. So we can put in the symptoms codes that you use into the system. There's also request codes that can be entered in here that you use as well. And here is the time clock. So this is what we use to track your technician's labor efficiency rate. So when they start working on this work order, this is where they'd clock in and out of the work order. Right below that, we have our scheduling calendar. So from here, you can see what your technician's schedule is on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. You can also go up here and create a new appointment by clicking on the new appointment button. And you can put in a subject. It defaults to a work order since we're in work orders, and it'll have the employee's name. You can put in a start date and an end time. And again, you can put a reminder in here to remind you to do the work. It has the work order ID number in there, the customer ID number, and the customer's name. And as far as the different types of appointments, you can put in any kind of types of appointments that you'd like to use inside the system here. At this point in time, we've come up on the 30 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up for questions. So again, please use the chat feature to type in any questions that you have. Okay, I have a question from Russ. What percentage of technicians have their own laptop or tablet in the shop? Pretty much all of the ones, Russ, dealers that I work with, they either have a computer or they have a tablet in the shop. Okay, I have another question here. Can I show a discount on the invoice, not as a message, but as part of the invoice amount, total invoice discount? Now, I just want to confirm as part of our PO process, can I add the part to a outstanding work order? Yes, you can add discounts through the system and it will show that discount on the invoice. You can do it as an individual line item where it just discounts whatever is above that discount line item. Or if you want to have a discount on everything that's on that sales invoice, you would just add the discount as the very last line item, and it will add that discount to all the products that are above it. Okay, the next question is, does the image allow you to save the invoice copies without having to scan them in? Yes. Russ asked the question, how exactly was the 97% approval rating obtained? Russ, we send out surveys at the end of the conversations that you have with our support technicians. So when you receive the survey, you would fill that out and rate how that support technician did in solving your problems and answering your questions. So that approval rating is actually our customers that are giving us that approval rating through the surveys that they are filling out. Can an iPad be linked to the program? Absolutely. So with the mobile app, you could use an iPad. You could also use an Android tablet, such as a Samsung tablet. And again, it doesn't have the full functionality of the program, but it does give you the ability to do inventory counts, and you can scan barcodes with the mobile app. You can also do a work order from start to finish through the mobile app. And you can look up the list MSRP price on your serialized item. And later this year, you'll have the ability to do sales orders through the mobile app as well. Okay, I have another question. We are a boat dealer. On the purchase order, will pull multiple stock numbers and VIN numbers for boat motors and trailers. That one, I will have to get back to you with that answer. I'm going to have to check with our support team. I'm not sure on the purchase order side of things if it will pull that information in based off of the serial number on that boat. If you would please put your name and your phone number in there with your comment or your email address, I'll make sure I get back to you with the correct answer. Can you save all sales orders and invoices without having to scan them into the system? Yes, you can do all sales orders and invoices can be saved inside the system, and you can have it saved with the customer signature on those invoices. So if you have our integrated credit card processing through Gravity Payments, they would sign off on the invoice from that credit card terminal. And if you don't have Gravity Payments, you can get a Topaz signature pad from us that the customer can use to sign off on the sales invoices and work orders. How can I get more information on the system? At the end here, when we get done with the Q&A, I'll bring up my email address and you can email me directly. And if I'm not your territory sales executive, I will pass it on to our the correct territory sales executive and have them reach out to you. Another question is payroll available with Ideal? We do not have an integrated payroll module inside the system. We do partner with a third-party payroll program called Red Wing Centerpoint Payroll, and it gives you the ability to export out of Red Wing Centerpoint and import it into Ideal's GL inside the system to track it through your general ledger. Or you can use whoever you want to use for your payroll, and you can export out of Ideal your employees' hours out of the system. There's another question here at the onset. Are there options to import inventory from QuickBooks to Ideal? That's a great question. We do data conversions for dealers that are coming over from QuickBooks. What we would have to do is we'd have to get a sample of your data to see what your data looks like for us to be able to determine whether or not we would be able to perform that data conversion. What sets Ideal apart from the other similar offerings on the market? Number one, we have the best support team in the industry. We have plenty of references that we can provide you with of people that actually use Ideal, that love the system. And anyone you're going to talk to that has Ideal, they're going to tell you how awesome our support team is, which is really important. Some of our competitors may be on the West Coast. If you're on the East Coast, it may be 3 hours before they open up before you can even talk to someone. In addition to that, we reinvest more back into the product compared to anyone else. So we're continually making enhancements to the software based upon the feedback that we're getting from our dealers. And we come out with 3 new releases of Ideal each year, and it's based, again, upon the feedback. It's enhancements that dealers are asking us to make inside the software. You're never going to have to worry about your software becoming outdated. It's always going to run on the latest version of Microsoft Windows and the latest hardware that's out there. Also, we have more integrations with the suppliers and manufacturers in our industries that we serve compared to the other systems that are out there. I could go on and on. The best thing I would say is set up a time for a demo with your territory sales executive, and we can go into even more detail to differentiate ourselves from our competitors. Another question is the image only for equipment, or can you put all paperwork in the image spot? We have a function inside Ideal that is a document management function. It's cloud-based storage, and we can include that with your system. So you can include documents that you have and attach those to different places inside the system. And that wouldn't be done under the images. Let me go over to a whole goods item here. Down here at the bottom of my screen, you'll see this documents button. This was where you could go in and you could add any kind of documents associated with this serialized item. You can do that for all the products. You can also attach documents to the customer's accounts as well. All right, it's 1:45 here, so I would just encourage everyone to, again, reach out to your territory's sales executive. I'm going to bring up my phone number here so that you can reach out to me, or you can call into this toll-free 800 number, 800-737-1620, or you can email me at ryan.tabakhorst@constellationdealer.com, and I will get you the appropriate information that you're looking for, get it over to the right sales executive, and we'll get all of your questions answered in more detail. Again, I'd like to thank everyone for joining the webinar today, and everybody stay safe. Thank you.